So, hi, Ms. Jones.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm great.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit about your background. You were born in Augusta, Georgia?
Augusta?
Augusta?
Yeah, there's like August. I know.
Sorry.
It's Augusta. That's
Augusta.
okay. That's the proper way to pronounce it. Augusta. Yeah, I was born in Augusta, Georgia, James Brown hometown.
Yeah.
But I came to New York when I was like 3, so I was basically raised in New York. But every summer I would go down, you know, south to stay with my father because my mother and father separated. And my mother came to New York, and then so we would go back and forth every summer. Up until my father passed away at a very young age. He was 38, and I had just turned 13 when he passed away. So yeah, and going out, I remember going down south and being in church, Sunday school, and Bible class, and and I remember one of my first solos. I did go to school down south 1 year, like 3rd grade, and I think that particular year, I was there around Christmas time, and I remember them having a play, and I played an angel. And my sisters made me the wings and the halo, and I did Silent Night. So that was one of my first remembrance of ever getting a chance to sing.
Silent Night.
I got up to sing Silent Night, and the people at the church said, "Ooh, that little girl can sing." And I think right then and there I knew, that was my calling. It was a blessing.
Yeah, there was also when you first felt, hey, I have this talent?
When I was a kid, I didn't know I had the talent, but I knew I could sing. And then I guess from there, I just continued to imitate people and listening to like
who? Like who?
Oh, come on. Whoever was out, in the 60s, Motown, Stax was like jumping. Everyone was young. You had Aretha, you had Otis Redding, you had the Supremes, you had James Brown. You had everyone, Solomon. Just every singer. Anytime I listened to the radio, like you heard Motown or Stax. And so this is what I grew up on. And people tell me, how do I have the soul? You got to realize, I was born in '56. And the soul really started the late 50s, early 60s, and went into like, I figured certain souls stopped around in the 70s, and then they started going into like disco and little different stuff. And so I was with that. By the time it stopped, I was in my 20s. And then now, no one was accepting me in my 20s because they was telling me I didn't have a look. Too dark skinned, too short, too fat, and too old once I passed 25. And so from 25 on up until my late 30s, so I hit like 38, I did little jobs singing with bands, doing neighborhood bands, but as far as trying a record label, a famous label picking me up, because with the Sony label, to one of their producers that told me about the look thing that I needed to bleach my skin and get so. And I just said, well, hey, if I'm not going to make it with this music, and I feel God gave me a gift, I said, one day people are going to accept me for my voice, not the way I look, for my size or anything like that, because I've truly felt that God gave me a gift. And so I just stuck with it, and I just to church, and then I started getting various jobs. I took out for city jobs, correction, police. I took the sanitation test. I took the court officer test, and the correction came through, and I did correction from 88 to 90. And then I left that, and I just got more into wedding bands and different studio work until the late 80s, I'll say late 90s. Like 98, between 97 and 98, I met Gabriel Roth, which was Desco. The Dap-Kings was called the Soul Providers. And we started that little 45 thing and putting out 45s, and next thing you know, we're in Europe with an album out, and then that Desco split up, and then we started Dap-Tone, and that's where I'm at now with Dap-Tone. Yeah. Three albums later, boom.